My name is Debbie Boyd. I'm from Galveston, Texas. I'm a quality analyst from NASA. I've recently lost my job at NASA due to the pending charges for a warrant for my arrest stemming from the court misconduct in Missouri. I'm asking for Congress to change the laws regarding how courts conduct business. Judges are above the law and have unlimited power with no one but the voters to keep them in check. I'm asking that the laws change so that all courthouse rooms be videotaped and that the courtroom proceedings may be recorded by the litigants. Also ban meetings occurring in judicial chambers behind closed doors. Accountability for missing papers, videotapes, and evidence that go missing from court records, transcripts, and cases. Require judges to allow testimony and supporting evidence from all parties, including children. Jury trials should be an option for domestic violence and civil court matters, especially when prosecuting attorneys' offices fail to protect their victims. Hold judges accountable for allowing hearsay and lies without evidence to carry the same weight as truth. Children and women need to be protected from their stalkers and abusers in cases of domestic violence. Domestic violence is minimized by our courts. I am asking for congressional investigation into court corruption and civil rights violations in the Pulaski County, Missouri Court of the 25th District. Judges should be accountable for ignoring the law and making harmful and detrimental decisions. Judges should not be allowed to interpret the law to meet their economic ends, money for placement in foster care systems. Children need to have the same rights for protection as adults. Their testimony should carry greater weight. Parents and children that have been damaged by these detrimental judicial decisions should have legal recourse. As a woman, my civil rights have been violated in this court. My son's rights are non-existent. In 1999, my 4-year-old son, Sam, and I left everything we had to go into hiding in a domestic violence shelter. Judge Warren said on the court record that he is a friend of the family and didn't believe the alleged abuse. He placed a restraining order on Steve and on me and set up 50-50 custody. Judge Greg Warren failed to protect my son, Sam. During the 50-50 custody, Sam was sexually abused by his father. There is physical evidence from a safe exam and a videotaped testimony from the Child Advocacy Center. With this evidence, the Pulaski County Judge Haslock ordered me to pay $3,000 to stop the visitations. This is a picture of Sam when he was 5, when he testified. This is a copy of the court order showing that they're ordering me to pay $3,000 to stop the visitation, even with physical evidence. Judge Haslock failed to protect Sam also. Judge Haslock then was recused under judicial canon of ethics. Another one. I went to Laclede County Juvenile Court for protection for Sam. The DFS there found probable cause that Sam was sexually maltreated by his father. The Pulaski County Prosecuting Attorney's Office refused to press charges in this case against Sam's father, despite the physical evidence and the findings from DFS and Sam's videotape testimony. Pulaski County Court took the case back, and Judge Tracy Story was the judge. We had several court dates where we had the safe exam doctor, Sam's counselors, and the DFS caseworkers there to testify. But Judge Story never allowed testimony. Cameras and taping are not allowed in their courtrooms. So the Foundation for Court Reform in St. Louis had some of their court monitors drive 3 hours to come to the court with me to witness the proceedings or the lack of. We witnessed incidents showing the judge's bias towards women. On September 4th, 2004, we had a 15-minute court date scheduled, and Judge Story asked to hear from witnesses. Of course, we had no witnesses subpoenaed or there to testify because it was supposed to be a 15-minute court date. He said that Sam had lived with me for 3 years and it was time for him to live with his father. My attorney protested, stating that we were not given proper notice. None of this occurred in a courtroom. It all happened back in the judge's chambers. Sam threatened to kill himself if he had to go live alone with his father. Sam was 10 years old. Judge Story confined Sam to a psychiatric hospital ward for 2 weeks and then placed him in DFS foster care. During that year that Sam was in foster care, he was in 5 different homes in 4 different school districts, all in the name of Sam's best interest. Without Sam in Missouri, I moved back to Texas to be with my sisters and parents for support. I drove a 28-hour round-trip ticket to visit Sam every week at DFS for 1 hour. Sam told each of his foster parents about the abuse that he suffered at his father's hands. DFS investigated again and found another finding of a preponderance of evidence that his father sexually molested Sam. They did a second testimony, a videotape testimony with Sam, where he also disclosed that his grandpa Ray had touched his dad, and that is where his dad learned it. DFS sent these court videotapes, and they got lost at the courthouse. Judge Story ignored the Missouri law setting adjudication and disposition hearings for 60 and 90 days after a child is placed in the system. We didn't even have a court date until 8 months after Sam had been placed in custody. DFS and Sam's counselors and psychiatrists all recommended placement with me and no unsupervised visits with his father. On October 5th, 2005, Judge Story took Sam out of foster care and placed him with his paternal grandparents, Grandpa Ray and Grandma Vita. This was under a temporary court order, so I was unable to appeal it. Judge Story never viewed the videotapes, and he said that Sam was clearly abused, but that he was not sure who had abused him. I was unable to schedule another court date for 6 years. And during this time, I drove back and forth every other week to see Sam, driving 28-hour round trip for my weekend visits. Sam is an awesome and very strong young man and has endured everything that's been thrown at him. Last year, Sam came down with his grandfather's permission for my surgery. I had a full hysterectomy, and he came to stay with me at the hospital and after. His grandfather called and demanded that Sam come back a few days before my surgery, and Sam refused. It was 2 weeks before Sam turned 17. He had called the sheriff's department himself, and the Missouri sheriff and the Texas sheriff both said once he turned 17 that they would have no control over him and that he wouldn't have to return. Sam even wrote a letter and faxed it to the judge and faxed the letter to the sheriff's department. Pulaski County Court placed a warrant for my arrest for interference of custody with a $100,000 bond. I retained an attorney in Pulaski County that is a friend of Judge Warren's. He made a deal with Judge Greg Warren that reduced my bond to $5,000, but only on the condition if I returned Sam to the court. Sam refused to return, and I refused to return Sam to the court even for a reduced bond. My attorney withdrew from representing me when my friends, co-workers, and family started to call and write the prosecuting attorney's office, the governor, congressman, and even the president on my behalf. He called me crazy and asked why I do something to infuriate the court. Sam turned 18 this month, and he hopes that he is out of this court's jurisdiction, and he is now a resident of Texas. Sam's case has been championed by national organizations like Justice for Children and the Foundation for Court Reform, but no one has been able to shine light on this court until Lawless America. Thank you, Bill, for helping us share our stories with Congress and with the American public. I'm a disabled vet, and I am proud to be an American. We want our country back.